Union Raza Podcast.
Welcome back to the Union Raza Podcast, episode 6. We are here with a very special guest, very special guest. My name is Alec. Let me introduce. Give it away.
What's up, Racita? Welcome. Union Raza Podcast. Like I said, episode 6. My name is Iram, also known as El Sucio. Saluditos. Like he said, we do have a very special guest. I want to give a shout out to Evelyn. Bienvenida. She is from the United Laborers Agency of Nevada, also better known as
ULAN.
Preséntate. Say.
Hi, my name is Evelyn Valencia, and I'm the Executive Director over at the United Labor Agency of Nevada, a.k.a. ULAN.
All right.
ULAN.
So, hope everybody had a good Labor Day weekend. It was Labor Day, right?
Yes.
I'm not tripping. Yeah, so we had a really long Labor Day. We actually took Friday off and Monday. We're in Mexico. As you can see, we're missing a person. My brother, he's actually still in Mexico. He celebrated his birthday, his anniversary as well, and his housewarming.
Everything. Everything.
So, yeah, we had a blast. We had most of the people from the office, friends here, family. It was, I want to say, about 70 people over there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of drinking, a lot of eating. It was a lot of fun. We're all in Ensenada, so that was really cool. What did you think about the experience with you and your boys?
I drank a lot. I really did. I'm not going to lie. So
It's a little bit of a blur.
Yeah, not really. I feel like I drank a lot. Maybe it's the age, but I'm not really feeling drinks how I used to feel drinks. Like I drank like the whole night and I wasn't buzzing. So I don't know what that means, but I still had a great time. It was really fun.
Good. Yeah, I had a blast this day. I was babysitting some kids, so it was a little different. I took some shots with you guys, but every shot I took was 2 bottles of water because I'm not about that life no more, bro. Anyways, saludos Humberto también behind the camera. The homie Rob, say what's up.
What's up, Union Raza Familia in the house, Las Vegas. Yeah. Shout out your local.
How was your weekend, carnal?
Man, I just got back from Texas. I was out seeing my lady out in Texas.
Orale.
I was having a good time over there.
Okay.
As much as we could. We had plans to go to Mexico as well. Appreciate the invite, but there were some emergencies that came up and I had to head out there.
Oh.
So, but besides that, had a great time, and good to be home. No place like Vegas.
All right, right on. Well,
How was your weekend, Evelyn?
Oh, it was good. I just got back from Chicago. I went for the weekend. I originally went with one of my friends. We went to see System of a Down perform. So that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of hot dogs, Italian beef sandwiches, and we also did a ghost tour. So that was really cool.
Did you have a Chicago dog?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I've always wanted to go to Chicago. Actually, Humberto and Paulina lived in Chicago a couple of years, so they really liked it. But I don't know. Too cold for me over there. Way too cold. Anyway, so let's get with the podcast. Evelyn, again, bienvenida. Tell me a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, how you decided to do what you do. What's your background exactly?
Yeah, so I actually grew up here in Las Vegas. Both of my parents, they met in California. They were both union members working at a UFCW, which is Food and Commercial Workers. And from there, so we've been really tied in with labor since growing up. My mom works for UFCW 7-Eleven. I have several aunts and uncles who are culinary members, so, always worked around unions. Like going into nonprofits, I really didn't know I was going to end up in a nonprofit. Mm-hmm. I probably should have. Throughout high school, I volunteered so much to the dismay of my parents having to drive me all around town all summer long. I would volunteer with Mi Familia Vota. I would work on political campaigns. And I worked with the Clark County Bar Association for a program called Trial by Peers. So that took a lot of my time during the school year. And on top of that, I did lots of sports and debate. So honestly, I thought I was going to end up doing something government or law, but it's crazy how life works out. So I went to school at the University of Nevada, Reno, and I did a dual bachelor's in political science and international affairs with an emphasis in law, diplomacy, and organization, and I did a minor in Holocaust, genocide, and peace studies. So I was very volunteered a lot throughout college, too, and when I was kind of thinking about what I was going to do after, I didn't know about nonprofit work. To be honest, I I was trying to buy time like before I had to get a real job. So I went and I was a teacher in the UK for a year.
Oh, wow.
So I was originally brought on to teach speech and debate at a private boarding school, but eventually I ended up teaching American government and politics too, and starting their Model UN team. So I did that, and that was only for a year. When I came back, I worked at a startup for a few months, and then the opportunity to become the executive director over at ULAN was presented. My mom really encouraged me to apply, and my boyfriend, but now husband, he was like, you have a great resume. What's the worst they can say is no. So I went and applied. I didn't get the position, but they created a new one for me, which is deputy executive director. So I would learn everything that it takes to be an executive director. And then within a few years, I would take over the organization. And that's where I am today.
What high school did you go to?
I went to 3 different high schools. So originally I went to Canyon Springs for Magnet. For my freshman and sophomore year. Junior year, I went to Nevada State High School, but this is, so I did CSN for a little bit.
Okay.
But this is when they were all the way out in Henderson, but my parents and we lived in Centennial Hills. So that was
That's a drive.
yeah. And I didn't know how to drive yet. So it was a long drive every morning. My mom would have to take me before she went into work all the way down to Henderson, and then have to coordinate with my dad to pick me all the way back up. So I did that for a year, and then I finished out at Arborview because I was doing a bunch of activities, and it just made a lot more sense, like, transportation wise, scheduling wise. It just was a lot. I was already doing a bunch of stuff at Arborview since it was my zone school, so I just finished out there.
And you went to UNLV?
UNR.
Oh, UNR. Okay, University of Reno. So let me ask you a question. You say you were in Europe for a year. Mm-hmm. How's the culture change, the shock from the States?
I think it was a big culture change. I originally was applying for other schools. So I applied to actually teach debate in China, South Korea, and Vietnam. So I got into those programs, but when I got into the UK, that one presented a unique opportunity because it was to create something from scratch. They never had a debate program before. So I was up for that challenge. And I figured, language wise, it would be the easiest to affiliate. And in case I needed to go back home, it gave me the opportunity to go home because it was a 10-hour flight versus a 24-hour flight. So took that opportunity, and I didn't think there would be too many cultural differences, but there is with language, even with English. And also, like, this town I was in, it was right by the coast, so it was actually having seasons was a huge, and being near an actual body of water was very different. But it also was a retirement town, so everything closed down super early. So growing up in Vegas, being used to 24-hour, having like the slot machines in the grocery stores, and then going into a very sleepy, slow pace of life was very different.
How about the food?
Oh,
that's the important part. The food.
So British food is not very known for being seasoned. Growing up, I didn't really care for Mexican food or all of that, but I was craving it because they don't have real Mexican food. It's Moroccan infused, and the spices are different. It's not the same. I was making my own my own food. I was asking my mom for recipes. I was I need seasoning. I need
help me out.
You're not shitting on beans on toast, are you?
Well, I don't eat beans. So.
Beans, toast, pork sausage.
Apparently, that's the
sausage.
The official food of it is beans and toast. I'm like, what the heck?
British food itself, the only good thing that they have is Sunday roast. I will. It's really think of it as Thanksgiving, really hearty. But I haven't been able to find anything that compares to British Indian food. Huh. I think their Indian food is top notch, and same with Thai food.
Really?
We have a lot of good spots here in Vegas, but it does not compare.
Wow.
I'll have to check that
out. I like Thai.
You know what? Really what's funny that you say that in Mexico and Baja California, Tijuana, Mexicali especially, there's a big Chinese influence. So some of the best Chinese food in the Americas is in Mexicali because of they actually have Asian people cooking it, not the Mexicans like we have here. And it's so different. It's so different. But that's cool. Alec, any questions?
So you've always kind of been involved in the community. So how was it transitioning to ULAN that they made a spot for you? It
was kind of new. I hadn't been in administrative or higher authority position. So that was learning all of that was something I had to overcome and kind of grow with it. And also what I really liked too is that the main focus of my role in the beginning was kind of learning all the positions within the organization, like doing everybody's job, learning how to do everybody's job effectively and still interacting with all of the clients that we serve and really getting to know them. So that kind of like helped, keep motivating me to learn more, because I was like, I was really hungry, and I would see, being able to see the difference that you make when you, like something as small as like, giving a family like a basket of food, something that, normally we don't think of, really making like a life or death difference, really making like a huge impact for families. That really, motivated me to kind of, continue on that service and, find ways to not just become complacent in what we do, but find ways, how else can we better serve like the people that we serve? What else can we add? And stuff like that has allowed me to think about new ways, like including pet food, because oftentimes like it's a stigma, if you're in a tough situation, the first things to go is, luxuries or something. And people say, if you're in a tough spot, get rid of your dogs, get rid of your cats, but they're family.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure that, they had access to food, and we had a lot of seniors that lived by themselves, and they would have like a dog or a cat, and they would give away their food. So they would come asking us, hey, can you give me some more food, some more meats and stuff? Because I've been, I don't have, my SNAP benefits don't cover pet food, and I don't have enough money to pay for pet food. So we started including that. Just, seeing the better ways to serve the community. Keeps me going.
Okay, so ULAN, what it does is when you see a family union members in need because they lost their job or because they got injured, that's when you guys come in?
Yeah, so we're, just to make it easier, I'll just focus more on like the union side. So primarily we're like the safety net. So oftentimes when let's say a union family, like a member, might be the sole breadwinner for the household. Okay. They had an accident at the work site. They're trying to figure out workers' comp, all of that, but they're going to be out of work for a while. So they try to apply for social services, but turns out they earn too much. And this is, it's a good thing, with the union contracts that they earn a lot, but it's a detriment, when it comes to those circumstances, because they exceed that threshold. So where do they come in? They might have an option, trying to get a loan, or, go to a payday center, knowing that, maybe workers' comp will kick in later on. I'll be able to pay it back. But those interest rates sky high. It's going to send them into a cycle, of them trying to catch up. So, we work with a lot of those unions to ensure that the members come to us first, and then we're able to assess, see, okay, you might have come in for rental assistance. Let's see if we can get you in for energy assistance. You're going to be out of work for a few months. Okay, we can get you into a longer term program. We might not be able to do this, or, this, we might be able to provide you with food. It's always trying to figure out what's the best solution for them, and kind of being able to navigate, because a lot of times these folks that come in, they've never been in a situation, they've never navigated something tricky, and they sometimes feel ashamed. So we trying to help them with that.
Yeah.
Right on. So we're having issues with our flag back there, so you can see. Okay. That's really, really cool. So what unions are part of ULAN that we might know, or that the members that are here that might not know that you guys can help them? I know you guys have is it IBAW, Teamsters? Who exactly is in?
So
partnerships, right?
Most of our partnerships are the unions that are affiliated with the Nevada State AFL-CIO. So we have the Teamsters, we have IBEW, I mentioned UFCW earlier, we have a lot of culinary workers. So we do have a mix of the service trades industries, but we also have quite a bit of building trades. So we have the bricklayers, the plumbers and pipe fitters, IBEW, sheet metal. So it's a wide variety, because we notice that it's not industry specific. It's across the board, and it's similar struggles. Regardless of what industry you're in, it's the very similar struggles that these working families face. All it takes is just one paycheck for them to be behind. One paycheck for them to have to make critical decisions. Do we pay the electric bill? Because NV Energy is really high right now, or do we pay for our medications, or do we pay for the copay, or it's all of those decisions that really impact a family, that all it takes is just one accident, one missed payment to really set them behind.
Okay. Hey, Rob, any shout outs out there? Anybody want to say what's up?
Let me check right here. I know I saw a couple. Give me just a second here.
Yes, sir. I was gonna ask, dude. I'm stuck right now. I'm not used to being in this seat. I'm used to seeing that over there.
Okay, I got something here. So Vladimir Ortega, keep killing the guys. Let's see, repping NALC Branch 2502, and shout out to ULAN. They have helped some of us letter carriers out. Okay.
Sick.
Raciel, saludos. All right. You know I'm not bilingual, so I'm not even going to try to say that. I'm going to get called
El
out.
Valle de Guadalupe.
There we go. Cool. Good. Thank you. And then Michelle, she said, we love that. All right. We got some people tuning in on the Facebook Live. Shout outs.
Shout out, Vladdy.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody out there that's watching live. Raciel, you're enjoying the weather over there. I'll see you tonight. I'll be flying out to San Diego, and he's going to pick me up. So celebrating my aunt's 80th birthday. Let's go to the next topic. Your parents, where are they from? They're from Mexico?
So my dad is from Mexico. He's from Hermosillo, Sonora. And my mom's from Honduras. So she is from La Ceiba, near San Pedro Sula.
Oh, how's your Spanish?
It's gotten a lot better since the pandemic. My parents made it a point that I had to learn Spanish first before English. So when I went into school, I struggled a little bit because I was growing up, just Spanish. So it was like watching TV, trying to catch up on, English. And during the pandemic, I learned to pick up on different accents, because some people couldn't understand my accent, but it was like I hadn't practiced. I speak it at home, where it's when I speak with my grandma or with my dad, it's just Spanish. With my mom, it's broken Spanglish, depending on what mood she's in.
Different accents. A ver, dame el acento cubano.
I was like, I can't imitate it, but I did learn how to pick it up, and then also like how to kind of respond, because it's very rapid pace.
Oh my gosh,
yes.
So it was like, and also the different slang. I didn't realize like I had like in Honduran slang, it's called catracho. So I would say some words, and then even my cousins in Mexico, they're like, I don't understand. What is chuines?
What?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
What is chuines?
It's just like little rascals, little kids.
So growing up, you were doing a lot of community work. Was that just you wanting to help others, or how did that come about?
Yeah, I felt like I was probably an overachiever. I just always was like trying to find new opportunities, and I didn't even realize, and I like originally, like people thought I was doing it for like college applications. I didn't even realize that could be helpful. I just did it because I really enjoyed it. And to me, it gave me something to do over the summers most of the time. So I wasn't just like, I was just, hanging out at home, just, watching TV the whole break. It gave me something to do. And it gave me purpose. Like I remember I got so motivated after like I was 16 at the time, and I was working at Mi Familia Vota. And what we ended up doing, well, it was like mostly me and then another like intern. We ended up creating like a community information night. So I was like tasked with finding resources for undocumented folks where they can get like healthcare, where they can get legal services, or food pantry, what services won't ask for their immigration status, and also, are there things that are free or low cost for this population? So I created like pamphlets in English and Spanish, and I got to present it, and that really motivated me. It was like,
Wow.
This is like something like to be given a project like that big. It was like, whoa, this is like really cool. And also, how like realizing that there's a huge need in our community. I'm like, how can I, keep helping? Because, I'm so privileged, to be born in the States and not having to realize that struggle, but also recognizing that I have family members who are in that situation. Where can I send them to?
Yeah. You go to Mexico and Honduras at all or no?
Honduras, I've only been once. I want to go again, but not in the summer. That was brutal. I took 7 showers in a day, and it was not enough.
Oh, yeah. It's humidity, huh?
It's humidity, and we stayed at my tia's house that didn't have AC. It was just a fan. My mom and I were fighting over the fan. And she took my brothers a few years ago, and they stayed at a Hilton, so unfair. But Mexico, I try to go at least twice a year to see my grandpa.
Yeah. Orale. So
I got some shout outs here on the Instagram Live. Let's see here. Jackie Valencia, 949698. Our union members appreciate ULAN very much. Is it ULAN or ULAN?
ULAN.
ULAN. It's the third one, actually. Okay. So appreciate ULAN very much. And that kind of brings me into a question that we had for you. For anyone out there who don't really know, if you could break it down, what does ULAN do? How does it show up for families and workers here in Vegas? I know that a lot of union locals have had your back too, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So what we So a little bit about the history of ULAN, for those that don't know. So we were founded in 1995. It was originally a partnership between the Nevada State AFL-CIO and the United Way of Southern Nevada. So essentially, it was just a way for us, like especially after the Frontier strike, where can we connect union members to resources out in the community? So originally, it was just a referral service. Where can we send people out when times are tough? Eventually, we started doing our own assistance in-house. So we started doing like rental assistance, utility assistance, food assistance program, and we've over the course of our 30 years now, we shifted. We used to do we used to have the citizenship project in our office. We used to do SNAP eligibility. Over time, we've shifted, and now we keep adding new programs. Like we have a whole comprehensive diaper bank, not only for babies but for adults, because we realize that there's an aging population that needs supplies, and often it's hard to come by the pet food or, children's breakfast. We try to make sure that every child that, comes through our doors, we give them additional breakfast items so they can start off their school day, being fed, something easy for them to pack or, heat up on the go. So it's stuff like that we've expanded, and now we're working with like the water district for water leak repair. So now we're sending plumbers free of charge to people's homes. And it's, we continue to evolve and we continue to see what programs work. And it's the history of ULAN is not like we never want to define ourselves by we always done this, we'll always continue to do this. It's we'll always evolve to address the needs not only of our union brothers and sisters but of the community as a whole.
So does it only, for example, you have to be a union member to be asked for help with ULAN, or it's pretty much anybody that's in need? It's
pretty much anybody that's in need. Granted, right now with the funding freezes and it's forced us to really like some services just for our union brothers and sisters, just because that's who's funding the programs, the unions. Mm-hmm. So, I want to make sure that they get priority, but, with other programs like our food program, that's open to everybody. As long as we have funding, we'll open it up to everybody. And, and with a lot of the grants that we have received in the past, it's open to everybody. And the really important thing that I want to emphasize is that what makes our agency different is that we don't base a lot of the stuff on income. We base it off emergency. It's what is the family going through that's caused them to be behind. It's not, okay, like, yeah, you're under a certain threshold, we'll take it from there, because we know that's not always the case. You might have a family that's still working, but they had an unexpected medical bill, or they had to go to the ER 4 times. Even if they have union insurance, that's like $350, for an ER visit, for their copay, every visit. That can really disrupt a family's budget. So we really want to, emphasize, the need over the income.
Is there a story of a member, something that impacted you so much that like you still remember it, of someone that needed a lot of help and you guys went up and over and above? And
you were like, this is why I do this. Yeah, like, this is why I'm involved in this type of stuff.
Yeah, we actually, and this member actually like followed up with us not too long ago, but during like a little bit, I would say like in 2021, we had this, one of the building trades members coming in. He was in his mid 30s, married. He had 5 young kids. He was diagnosed with brain cancer. Ouch. So he was going to be out of work for a while, and he was about to start treatment. He was freaking out. Where can I go? What can I do? Thankfully, during that time, this is when we got the COVID dollars. So that helped us, and they had a lot of like more flexibility with those. So we could, pay so much behind, we could pay so much in the future. So that allowed us to be able to do some proactive rental assistance and utility assistance. And then we were able to get them connected with our food pantry. So they kept checking in with us. And then I think we helped them out for, I want to say 18 months. Okay. And we always, whenever we had like toys donated from IOTC Local 720 for Christmas. So they were on the top of our list, because we know with 5 young ones, with their dad going through it, it's, you don't want to get rid of the Christmas magic for them. You want to make sure, you want to make sure that they don't sense something is abnormal. So we were there to help them throughout the way. And I remember one of the last visits he came, he was like, they cleared me to go back to work. I want to go back to work. My wife has been doing part-time just to help take care of me in the house. I want to repay it. And we're like, you never have to repay our services. Like, you just keep moving forward, focus on yourself. But it was one of the last times, he was like thankful for it, but he checked in with us and he was in remission. Cool. And, he's like, I've never like needed assistance again, but we're so thankful that ULAN was there, because he was struggling, like trying to navigate, because he was trying to enroll in SNAP and all of these other long-term assistance programs. And he was just already dealing with like medical issues and with a full household too. Like everything was on his shoulders at that point. So it was okay. And, going from the breadwinner to not going to that, and the mental toll, being so young, being diagnosed with a really, really harsh disease. It's, that kind of stuck with me. It was like, it made me realize that, anything could happen at any stage of life. Your age doesn't determine, your circumstance, but also it kind of gave me the push, it's like these little things, the things that I don't think about too much. It's like, to me, I was just like thinking, okay, this is great. Like numbers wise, I get to spend this money, make a difference, but it doesn't really hit, what that impact looks like. And for me, that impact was, these kids got to remain in their house. They didn't they didn't really get to see the impact, that what would have happened.
The struggle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They got shielded from it. And I think that's really important, because when children experience that struggle, it sticks with them.
Yes.
So it was great to help prevent that. And also, that's one last thing, while you're already going through a harsh treatment, and, your body is weak, why have more stress?
Yeah.
So it really stuck with me. And it's those cases, where it's, when we can go above and beyond, when resources allow for that, we see the big impact that it makes. Or even like the little bits is like, helping pay an electric bill for one of our seniors, and they're beyond, like, over the moon.
Yeah.
And it's like those little bits, it's like, it really helps keep you motivated, keeps you going.
Yeah.
So, how does the system work with, if someone needs help, how do they contact you? Yeah, the process to contacting you guys.
Yeah, so I'll do it like pre-funding cuts. So like, when things are great. So what they would do is usually they would contact their unions. Usually a shop steward or a business agent there, might be aware of what ULAN does or what we can and can't do. We'll get the referral, and then our intake staff will review it and give them a call. And we try to do everything, especially after the pandemic, that forced us to evolve to with how we take information. So we try to do everything virtually, so people are not using gas to keep coming down to our office. Try to do everything as virtual as possible to make it easy and accessible for folks. So we do everything over the phone and over email, and then from there, we assess, we see what funding we have, and then the case manager will make that determination. Okay, we can do your rent, we can do your utilities, or hey, we can't do your rent, but let me do this, or I want you to come down because I think you might qualify for another program. I need your live signature for stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you get some guys or members, guys, women, whatever, that want to take advantage of the program too, which that's why you have to assess, and hey, not everybody can get help, but you try to help as many as you can.
Yeah, I would say that is anytime we get someone that abuses, I would say out of 100 cases, it might happen twice.
Oh, that's good.
Very,
So
very rare.
it's very rare, and it's like we have ways of finding out.
Correct.
Like, you have your intuition. And we also, we work with so many different agencies. So we have databases. We have things where we are mandated to log stuff in, so it helps us kind of keep track. And it also helps us kind of create a better picture of who we're serving.
Claro.
When we go look at the database, we can see, are we the first ones they've gone to, or, are they a frequent flyer? Have they gone to other agencies? Have they, and it allows us to kind of see, okay, they've gone to other places for food. Okay, and they're coming to us for rent. Let's see what's the issue. Is there something we can help them with? So kind of alleviate that, or is there, a way we can kind of consolidate the resources?
Okay. So you guys hear everybody that's on the live. If you guys do need help, assistance, if you lost your job, if you have surgeries, anything that you need help, you can always contact ULAN. They can definitely guide you in the state of Nevada, of course. If you're in Utah or something, there has to be a version over there, I'm guessing. I don't know. Is there? That's a good question.
Yeah. So for those out of state, I would recommend contacting your 211. That's usually like nationwide. That's like the database, and it'll kind of redirect you to what resources are available. For us, because I believe there's only like 7 agencies similar to us that's labor heavy. Most of the time it might be like CLCs kind of taking on a food pantry role, or might or like our counterparts up north, the Northern Nevada Membership Assistance Program, they might have like, they might do some similar work, but it's different. So it just I would say contact
varies.
211 or contact your local United Way. They'll be able to direct you to resources, or sometimes your local CLCs might be able to direct you.
There you go. And that was a question that I wasn't going to ask, but I did anyways. Rob, any shout outs? Anybody out there?
Yeah, we got a couple shout outs coming from the Facebook Live and from the Instagram. On the Facebook Live, Ray Carpenters 59 in the house. What's up? And then over on Instagram, we have Cesar Molina 9573. Carpenters Local 743 in the house. Shout outs. And that brings me to a question, because, we were talking about how things can get kind of tough with special circumstances and emergencies. So running a nonprofit really is not a joke. And what's been one of the toughest challenges for you, and how do you push through that? And did the union support play any role with this tough time?
I think so. The tough time, we've been through so many, I like to give you a reference. So I started back in December of 2018. During that time, I could have never imagined the pandemic. I could have never imagined that we would be considered essential, that I would still have to go to work every single day and even work even longer hours because there's more people at our doorstep, literally and figuratively. So it forced us, it was hard, trying to manage that, trying to manage that extra workload, and also just the professional, personal, emotional side to it, because it does get draining. You hear people's stories.
Keeping those boundaries up, right?
Yeah. And, sometimes those stories weigh on you because it reminds you of something that you've gone through or your family's gone through. So it's you kind of take that into, which can be a good thing because it allows you to provide really great service. But right now, the biggest challenge, which I know, and I just got done with 3 Square, and we're talked with other food pantries, and the biggest issue all across the board right now is funding. And it's not necessarily that we're not applying for grants or anything. It's things are frozen. Things everywhere are frozen.
Is it like a federal funding freeze?
Yes,
Yeah.
and that impacted initially when those freezes were announced in January. That initially cut our rental program because that was through FEMA, and that was through the direct assistance, which a lot of people were kind of arguing that we needed to completely eliminate that portion, because FEMA, you have 2 prongs. You have the disaster relief program, but then you also have the direct assistance route. And we got a lot of our funding from that direct assistance route.
Didn't know that. I didn't know there was 2 different ones.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And with that direct assistance, the thing is we don't mandate, we don't ask, for citizenship status or residency status. That we just purely look at, what the emergency is and help them with rent, utilities, food with that funding. So with that gone, things, we shifted, and we're like, okay, well, we'll work on this, we'll do that. Eventually, those things trickle down. With the federal funding freeze, that means that less money is coming into the states. And stuff like human services is usually at the bottom because you're trying to backfill other more critical services like Medicare, Medicaid. So that's what happened this past legislative session. What it meant for as a whole is that, funding isn't coming down to the county or to the city. That means that it impacts our ability to apply for grants. We still apply for them. It's yes, you're approved, but it's tentative, if we can get the funding to come in. So we're all in limbo, and the challenge that we're trying to pivot is, okay, how long can we be in limbo? How long can we be in limbo before we have to pull savings or before we have to turn more people away? We've already started cutting programs, and it's okay, well, we can pivot to this program, but it's not really, not really what the union members need or what our community needs. Our community needs cheaper housing. They need rental assistance, and that's one of the biggest expense, and that's the thing that's being cut out across the board. Then it's utilities. We try to help as much as we can, but that eventually that program's going to come to a cut too if nothing changes. Same with food.
Wow.
So it is just a trickle down, and the best way I can tell, of unions is we really need them to step up, because at the end of the day, this organization was founded by labor for labor, and without that, with every other agency across the board, there's that fear, will this cause us to close our doors? Will this cause, 30 years of legacy to be, shut down? And it's not something that, I could, save so many years, to prevent this. It's so out of the blue. After the pandemic, I was just this is recession proof. If I survived the pandemic and still had a job, I'm going to be secured.
Through everything.
And these past few months shown that no, it's not the case.
So pretty much it's all because of this presidency. That's when it started, right?
Yeah. And it's just the political theater with it. It's people's, want to criticize, the programs. They have an image of who receives these benefits, who, it's a very negative stereotype of who benefits. But in reality, I can't pinpoint one demographic, one age group, or one what their family looks like, because it's across the board.
Yeah.
It doesn't discriminate. Yeah, mm-hmm. It doesn't discriminate if you drive a Camry or if you drive a G-Wagon. It affects everybody. Yeah.
If you need help, they got it.
So I saw a question asked by Vladi. He says, "How could we give back to ULAN?"
So there's different ways. Obviously, cash is king. Money allows us to actually provide the services, but what we need a lot is advocacy. We need people to speak up. We need people to get angry. Mm-hmm. We need people to advocate. What connections do you have? Or what can you do in your communities? So things like the second Saturday of May, every year, there's the food drive, the letter carriers food drive. I encourage you to, even if it doesn't come directly to us, it goes to another food pantry. Clean out your pantries. Don't just throw things away from the early 2000s, don't use it as your dumpster. But, if you're not going to eat something, and it's still in good condition and it's shelf stable, donate it, give it back to the community. Another thing, if you have friends, pull resources together, do a little food drive, collect hygiene items, things like that really make a difference. It's something that we don't have to spend money on, mm-hmm. Or, collect food or pet food. If you have a little luncheon, ask people, can you bring in some dog food cans or cat food cans, stuff like that really makes a huge difference.
Weren't you talking about that too with creating the new program for the pet food pantry? Mm-hmm. Were you guys talking about that? Is that going on now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. Yeah.
And also it's Vladimir, not Vladi.
Vladi.
Okay?
He's my uncle, so
he
I
is
say
his
Vladi.
uncle. He's also a letter carrier. So shout out to you, Vladis. We're gonna have you on the podcast one day, carnal. So
real quick, Evelyn, I just noticed your headphones
flip. I don't want to say anything.
I just realized now.
Oh, that's why I couldn't hear through that.
It'll make it more comfortable.
I literally thought she was like, I like it like this.
I was just like, I'm deaf in one ear.
Is it more comfortable now?
There you go.
Oh, so much better.
Left and right.
I don't want to be that vato
I was like, okay, she's a pro. She's she's got one off. She's like, I need to hear the room.
I'm hip hop, bro.
Yeah. She's like, turn up my snare.
Hitting my piercings, and I was like, oh.
I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to put it on the spot. Be like, excuse me, why are you filling out my hair, dude? You así, ay. Tú, Humberto, no dices nada también.
I had to help. I just realized, I was like, no, there's no way.
I knew it. I don't want to say anything, dude. I was like, it makes it worse.
I was just like, maybe this is my first podcast, so I'm like, maybe
this is the pain that I have to go through.
No, I was like, oh, you can only hear through one ear, so you can hear other things.
That makes sense.
I just kept rationalizing it. I was like,
that's funny. Well, welcome to your first podcast. I'm glad it was ours, eh?
So there's one big thing, I guess, that's happening in the next couple of weeks. It's the golf event.
Yes.
Your golf tournament. Tell us a little bit about it. How long has it been going on, and where's it going to be at, and all that fun stuff?
I actually don't know how long it's been going on. I'm just saying it's 30 years because that's how old we're turning. So it is going to be on September 19th. I still have a lot of spots. So if you are interested in golfing, or if you want to donate a raffle prize or goodie bag items, I could use all the help. It is at Paiute Golf Course. You can email me for more information. That's the best way, so I can send you everything digitally. So the email is Evelyn, EVELYN, @ULAN.org. And I will say our tournament is a lot of fun. I really wish I wasn't working it so I could enjoy it. Every year I'm like, I wish I could, just go out on the course instead of having to hustle people for raffle tickets all day long. But it is a lot of fun, and it really makes a huge impact. It is our biggest fundraiser of the year, so this really makes or breaks our budget for the year. And it's just a day of fun, but it also, now more than ever, it's necessary.
That's cool. Yeah, this we've actually done it 3 times. I remember the first time we did it, we got invited. I think it was Vince, and then after that, we decided to sponsor it. So ULAN, Raza, and Artkore sponsors for the golf tournament. If you guys want to be sponsors, is there still spots to play and still?
Oh yeah, just email me the soonest you can email me, the better. And then we have different payment options if you want to send a check or if you want to do credit card, anything we got. I got you. We have methods of, making sure that
Heck yeah. So if you guys got a golf game out there and you want to lose to the Union Raza team,
We're going to be there, yeah.
you're going to be there. Hit us up, man. No problem. We'll put a side bet.
Evelyn, what's that email again that they could reach you at?
it is Evelyn, so V as in Victor, ELYN at ULAN.org.
Boom.
Perfect. Yeah, so like I said, it's going to be a Paiute over there towards Mount Charleston. I want to say it's one of the most beautiful courses in Vegas.
Yep,
It's
it
not
is.
the most beautiful, but it's an awesome course in that they do it there. It's super, super cool. Guess it's going to be at Wolf. Usually it's at 3 different courses. I'm speaking Chinese right now.
I'm like trying to think. I was like, it's the course we do every year, but
Yeah.
what I really like, it's a lot cooler than the rest of Vegas. Even though it's in September, it shouldn't be as hot. We normally have it in June. So it is scorching hot outside, but hopefully it'll cool down. And plus, it's a little bit closer to like Mount Charleston,
Yes.
so it's like in the mornings. I always have to bring a jacket because it is freezing.
Yeah, so we are excited for that. We're going to be, like I said, we're going to be sponsoring Raza. We will be there, so if you guys want to play some golf, hit us up. Alec?
For the people coming up, I'd say, what's your advice? I'm sure you have a lot of advice being involved in the community. You've put in your years. So say what's some advice you could give someone that's looking to be in the same field as you?
So I would say, like, the biggest thing is to always be ready to learn and always be compassionate and empathetic. I think that will get you pretty far especially if you want to go into nonprofit. But if you're looking for more leadership roles, I'm still learning. But for me, like, especially being, so I took over as executive director at the age of 29. I've been there for almost 2 years now. So, it was a big undertaking for being so young too. And it's,
Heck yeah.
and it's kind of overcoming that stigma. It's like, did my board make a mistake? And mind you, Susie sits on my board too. And I'm like, did Susie make a mistake? Like, I don't think I'm qualified enough, but sometimes, and I mean, most of the time, actually, I'm the youngest person in the room. Like when I meet with other nonprofit leaders, I'm the youngest by like 20 years.
Wow.
And I always have to tell myself, it's not a mistake that I'm here. And I think that's what young people always assume. It's like and it's kind of overcoming that imposter syndrome. It's like, do I really deserve to be here? Because to be honest, when I first applied, I was like, no, I have to be like 50 to apply for this role. But to me, it's not necessarily about the age, or, sometimes it is the experience, but it's what you're willing to bring to the table, what you're willing to learn, how quickly you can pick those stuff up, and, how adaptable you are. And I think that is really important. And being young is, it's always a constant learning experience too. So I always, never have yourself like shut off that, you're at a point where you can't learn anymore. So for me, it was like, okay, what else can I learn? What else, what other opportunities? And I think it's growing into my role as a leader. And I think like different things, like I just graduated from Leadership Las Vegas, a competitive program through the chamber to kind of help us like mold ourselves to be better leaders in the community. So that, being in a room full of other CEOs who have, double the years of work experience than I do, and knowing that I belong with them was really empowering.
Hell yeah. And then that's another thing that I see. Like you said, you're still learning. I'm 44 years old now. I'm still learning. You never stop learning, and you should never give up on your dreams. Just work hard. Alec, 23 years old, 24 years old.
24, yeah.
24 years old. Kid's got a house already. He kicks ass. He's here. Every day he works, answers the phones. He does his thing. He's got his clients, and I'm very, very proud of my nephew. And I don't even have a house, and I'm 44 years old, so screw you on that. I love you, though. That's awesome, though. Very proud for you, man. What else? Anything else? I'm going to start crying.
So I know ULAN right now is having a difficult time, but where do you see ULAN going in the next 5 and 10 years?
The biggest thing that I see is that it's going to be a lot of change. And change is always, sometimes can be difficult, but
Yes.
it's difficult at first, but then it's almost like when you eat a warhead, it's sour at first, but then eventually it gets better. So that's how I see it. It's going to be some changes. It's going to be having those frank conversations with folks, being realistic about what we can and can't do. But it's also us becoming more resilient. Every hurdle that we go through, it shows us, how resilient can we be, and, what that support from the unions, how big of a difference that makes. And So I see ourselves, still standing. We might be like, there might be chunks taken out, but at the end of the day, we're still there, and we're still finding ways to grow. What other programs can we undertake? And especially right now, because things are so uncertain, it's sometimes the perfect time for us to take a chance. To explore new ideas, to take that risk that we might have otherwise been afraid, because at this point in time, what do we have to lose?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, can we dip our feet into workforce development? Can we work a little bit with apprentices? What other programs can we dip into? Can we go a little bit on the housing and urban development side? Affordable housing, or can we go into more like social work? Stuff like that. Where can we pivot, and where can we create longevity and sustainability?
Oh, really? Speaking of that, do you guys help people get homes as well? Is that something that you guys offer too, or no?
No, that one is like a housing placement is very tricky. It takes a lot of relationship building. Ideally, in a perfect world, we would love to, partner with, some organization that has a apartment complex, so that we're able to, ensure that people are housed if we need rapid rehousing. But right now, we kind of just refer them out. Like, we give them warm referrals to the Clark County, to get them into a housing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it just ran through my mind right now. You guys talking. I think we're going to talk about trending topics right now, right?
Actually, the trending topics was the funding freeze and what we can do for the community.
Oh.
But I do have a shout out from Raziel right now. And he says, to know that you're touching lives and helping someone daily. That's such a gift. All my respect goes out to her.
Yes, sir.
Raziel. Thank you, sir. And then I also got another shout out on the Instagram Live. Help me out here. Saludos a los laborers de la 300.
What's up, laborers? Local 300. Saludos to everybody that's still watching. You guys are awesome. Can't do it without you. I mean, we can, but it's better to have them. Love you guys. Trending topics?
Right now was going to be the Vegas slump. What is that having to do with ULAN? And are you seeing a lot more influx of helping out people because of like this Vegas slump that we're kind of in right now?
Oh, yeah. Actually, like it was crazy. So a few months ago, I got to see a report presented by Applied Analysis, and they were like, Vegas, isn't really experiencing a slump. Tourism has slowed down just a little bit, but it's nothing crazy, nothing like what we're imagining. Now that is different. So what we're seeing is, especially within the hospitality industry, we're seeing a lot more people going on call status. So it's not like they're fired, but they're not getting enough hours. So that trickles down to what we're seeing. It trickles down to other things. So like if that continues for a while, that means that people now will have to pay for their health insurance. So Cobra, it isn't cheap. So now they have to decide, with what little income they're bringing now compared to what they used to bring, rent, food, utilities, or now health insurance, to cover that. So we're seeing like we're starting to get more folks coming in because they've been switched onto an on-call status. It's a little bit tricky because they can't even apply for unemployment too. So it's just a really messed up situation that we're seeing. But I anticipate we're going to see a lot more. If we don't get more people coming into the city, it's only going to increase. And especially because a lot of the people in the hospitality industry, when they fall in tough times, ULAN is usually the default. They'll go to their union, and their union will know, okay, straight to ULAN. Mm-hmm. So it does put a bigger strain on our resources. I
think I seen the articles 13.8% drop in tourism. And that doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a lot. That's a lot. And I mean, just for Mexico, for example, usually when you're crossing the border on a weekend, any weekend are 2-3 hours. On a holiday weekend, could be 5 to 6. I think he did 45 minutes. That just shows how many people are actually traveling and visiting places. They're scared. They don't want to. There's no money. There's just it's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
And that trickles down to so many other things. So if people aren't traveling, then it also means, money isn't coming to the city. But what that also means is that people are afraid to spend money. They're going to cut back on a lot of stuff. And some of those things, donations. So when people give, sometimes they might give like $10 a month. when you're looking at your budget, you're looking at your bank account, you're looking at what's recurring. What can I cut out to save any dollar? And it's going to be donations. It's going to be those subscriptions. It's going to be, people are going to cut stuff out. And that's in turn going to hurt, not just our agency, but others too.
Sí, claro. And that's just in general. Like I said, people don't want to spend, not only because I think one of the reasons they don't want to spend either is because they don't know if there's going to be a recession. They don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So they, nothing might happen. We never know. I do want to give a shout out to Messi. Messi, el futbolista. Ayer jugó su último partido con la selección de Argentina. So I know he loves them. That's why. So shout out to Messi. He's one of the GOATs.
Messi, he scored a hat trick for his last game.
3 goles de Messi. Todos se los dieron para su último juego. Ya sé que tú estás enamorado de Ronaldo, güey. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. So I don't know if you like soccer, but Messi, he played his last game with the selection de Argentina. So that's pretty cool. Anything else, Rob, you want to throw in?
No, we're pretty much wrapping up right here, coming up on the hour. And I just want to know what's coming up for the brand, Union Raza. Any trips coming up or any big news?
No, not really. Like I said, one of the things that we're doing is on the 19th, we're going to be sponsoring the golf tournament. So that's fun. I said I was not going to play till September. I haven't played in like 2 months. Alex actually playing on Sunday. So I am excited to get back out there.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's gonna be a fun event.
We're very excited. We're definitely very excited. We do have a gift for you. I don't know if you want to hand it to her, if she wants to open it an hour later. That is, appreciate you for being who you are.
From Union Raza team.
That's from us to you for being part of the team. And then if you always welcome here. If you want to just shoot the shit or hang out, you're welcome to come.
Thank you. I remember I brought my Chihuahua over one time. Dinky Minaj.
Yeah, so Evelyn is a big fan of Union Raza. She does support it. She's been supporting it for a couple of years, and also Artkore, which everybody knows. So we appreciate you, appreciate everything you do for us, everything. So thank you for coming. Thank you for being part of this podcast, and welcome anytime you want.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for having me. We love Union Raza and we love Artkore. And we're excited to see you guys out on the course. And just so you guys remember, if you guys don't do that well, I have a last place trophy.
Ay, güey.
I don't know.
Racita, thank you for checking in. Thank you for being part of the Union Raza podcast today. Raciel, I'll see you tonight. Muy buenas noches. Have a wonderful weekend. No pisten mucho.
See you guys next time.
Nos vemos.
Peace. Union Raza Podcast.